Welcome back to the Dragon Den. My loyal Dragonites, King of Dragons 5000 is back with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Hiya Toys Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla, the Atomic Heat Ray version Translucent Edition. But before we have a look at the figure, let's take a moment to thank today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Gundamit.com. Action figures, model kits, and other collectibles, check out Gundamit.com with a link in the description. And so here we have Godzilla posed and out of the packaging, but before we have a look at his details, let's run through his accessories. Godzilla comes with two head sculpts, one being a hinged jaw and one for his atomic blast. Then we do get an alternate neck piece as well as his atomic blast effect. Other than that, Godzilla doesn't come with any other accessories, so with that out of the way, let's have a closer look at his details. And so here we have a closer look at Godzilla, and if you know anything about Hiya Toys, it's essentially the exact same sculpt that we've had a look at several times already. The main difference is he is made out of a translucent plastic, so everything you see on him is actual paint. Hiya Toys still has my favorite monsterverse Godzilla head sculpt, as this is the most accurate rendition of the character. Despite being cast in translucent plastic and painted with this bluish gray, it looks really good and the paint is really solid here. Just like with the previous Heat Ray version, his eyes are painted blue as well as his teeth. The exact same details we've seen on previous figures on his torso look really good, and despite being a reuse, it's still pretty clean. And I love the grayish blue that they went with for his skin tone. It really does a good job harmonizing with the rest of the blue. And the sculpt is still really solid. I'm not seeing any issues here with consistency in his sculpt. Hiya Toys has done a really good job with Godzilla's scaly arms, as you can see all the scale detail here. And the paint is very consistent with this grayish blue going from his shoulder all the way down to his claws. Once again, we have these really thick thighs that Godzilla has on, and all the sculpted detail here is still clean. The scales going down to his knees look really solid, and I love the sculpt work that's still here. And once again, we have this really nice blue-gray going from his hips all the way down to the bottom of his feet. Where this figure shines the most is in his dorsal plates, as they are cast in this really nice translucent blue. Hiya Toys didn't stop with a translucent blue plastic, as they did opt to include some white and lighter blues going along his dorsal plates. The look is very clean and does give the illusion of Godzilla charging his atomic blast. However, as you can see going down his dorsal plates, the spines are just cast in the translucent blue with hardly any paint to speak of. But the top of the plates look really solid with this blue color, and I love the color scheme here on the tail. And Hiya Toys continues that consistency with this really good paint job from Godzilla's tail all the way to the tip. So overall, he has the exact same sculpted details that we've seen on previous Godzilla figures. However, the paint job on this Godzilla is spectacular, and I love what Hiya Toys has done here. With his details out of the way, let's compare Godzilla to our usual suspects. Here we have Godzilla posed next to Marvel Legends Cyclops and DC Multiverse Superman, Mattel's WWE Elite Series and Mezco's 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man, the Lightning Collection White Ranger, and the Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And here we have the Translucent Heat Ray Godzilla posed next to the Heat Ray Godzilla and Burning Godzilla. So as you can see, really nothing new to speak of in terms of sculpt, as he does use that same sculpt that we saw on previous Hiya Godzillas. But because he does use that exact same sculpt, he'll fit in nicely with the rest of the monsterverse line. So with his comparisons out of the way, let's have a look at Godzilla's articulation. Godzilla has a ball joint in the head and a ball joint in the neck. His jaw is on a hinge. Arms go out to the side slightly and do a full 360. Swivel hinge at his elbows. Ball joints in his wrists. Double ball joint in his mid-torso. Legs are on ball joints which do kick forward, go back, out to the side, and have slight rotation. A slight double bend in his knee. Ball joints in his ankles. And finally, we have a multi-segmented tail which is full of segmented ball joints. So the exact same articulation we've come to expect out of the Hiya Toys Godzilla. So with everything said and done about the Atomic Heat Ray Translucent Godzilla, let's get him posed for my final thoughts. So here we have the Hiya Toys Atomic Heat Ray Translucent Godzilla pose for my final thoughts, and overall Hiya Toys still does a really good job here with Godzilla. Although I can imagine a lot of people are burned out of Godzilla, as Hiya Toys has already produced 6 different versions of Godzilla. This version is really nice, and I love the fact that he's cast completely in translucent plastic. And being cast completely in translucent plastic, that means everything that you see on this figure is painted detail. It's not sculpted in any type of colored plastic, it's all translucent plastic. So all the grays, blues, and even a little bit of the brown that we see in Godzilla is all paint, so you gotta commend Hiya Toys on giving him that much detail in terms of paint. Where this version of Godzilla shines, I think, is in his gimmick. Being made of translucent plastic, he does light up when you have backlighting on him. And the way the light passes through his dorsal plates is amazing, and it looks very good, and I think it's the best representation of Godzilla charging his atomic blast. However, if you have that original Atomic Blast Godzilla, there's really no reason to pick this version up unless you really like the novelty of the translucent plastic. But it's still a great looking figure, especially if you put him next to the rest of your monsterverse line that Hiya Toys has come out with. Now, at the time I'm making this video, Atomic Blast Heat Ray Godzilla translucent version is starting to hit stores, especially like Big Bad Toy Store and Gundamit.com. I did get my Godzilla from Gundamit.com, and you can support the Dragon Den by using code word DRAGON on every purchase to earn extra points. And before we wrap up this video, let's take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Gundamit.com. For a wide variety of third-party and first-party action figures, collectibles, and model kits, check out Gundamit.com with a link in the description of this video. So until next time, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and check out all my other Hiya Toys and Godzilla videos. If you're in a position to support the Dragon Den, check out my Patreon where I have some exclusive content and early access videos. Check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, videos, recent pickups, latest prints, and as always, ring that bell so you never miss another video. And until next time, my loyal Dragonites coming from the Dragon Den, I'm King of Dragons 5000 reminding you to redesign, rebuild, and reclaim. I'll see you next time.